Hello, good morning. This is the 81st daily update, and just updating on uh, essentially what happened over the trip very quickly, because I know that during the trip I tried to still upload daily, but it was very short. Um, but essentially, I drove up to see the eclipse on Sunday, starting very early. Got up to Middlebury, which is a town in Vermont, and I was planning on spending the night there. Spent the night in the car, got pretty interrupted sleep during that night. But then throughout the night, I actually drove uh, uh, to different places in Vermont. I was following the weather and seeing essentially where I would be guaranteed clear skies for the actual eclipse. So drove around, got to um, a town called Newport, then crossed over the Canadian border in the very early hours. I think it was like 8 or 9. Crossed over the Canadian border and then saw the set up camp in Magog, which is a town in Quebec. So that was a very interesting experience. I was shocked by the amount of people that didn't know how to speak English there. So the primary language was French, but I thought that since Canada, most of Canada is English speaking, that the population in Quebec, that the French speaking population, that most, if not everyone, would know how to speak English. But actually, that is very much not the case. There are a lot of people that either don't know English at all or speak very broken English. So, but had interesting experiences there. But saw the eclipse and it was incredible, incredible. Um, I think there are two things. It's kind of a shame because I took videos and pictures and stuff, but they really like don't are so they don't give you any idea about the actual what the actual experience was like. Seeing it in person is completely different. Um, and I didn't take that many pictures and videos because I was trying to focus mostly on the event. Um, so that was also part of it. But um, two things that I kind of wanted to remark on that um, really stood out to me. So first of all, and this is not one of the two things, but the partial eclipse was a lot cooler experience than I remember. So I have been through one other partial eclipse experience, but for this one, it was really cool to see how like the sunlight was getting weaker and weaker over time. And then when you were looking at people, when you hit like 60% of totality or like 80%, when you look at people, almost look like it was a movie because you kind of saw the weaker light, and it was strange. It was almost like sunset light, but it wasn't redshifted like a sunset light was um, is. So it's kind of like it gave this weird look to the world that was very cool. And then when that transitioned to totality, I thought based on what I heard and stuff, that it would be abrupt, that it would be like, even if there's a sliver of sunlight um, left, that it would be still like pretty light out. And then as soon as a totality begins, it would just be like immediately lights off. But it wasn't like that. It was actually pretty cool because that process of like the sunlight like going to nothing or being blocked completely, um, it kind of happened over like 5 or 6 seconds, and it was like this like gradual. It was almost like a incandescent lamp when you turn it off, and it just like gradually turns off. It was exactly that over maybe like 4 or 5 seconds that happened, and then during totality, the thing that so that was the first thing that kind of stood out to me. The second thing was totality was so weird, like um, I just didn't appreciate how black the sun turns when you have the moon blocking it completely. It was like it was like the blackest I've ever seen. It was like looking into like a cat's dilated pupil. It was like this massive, like completely solid black. It's actually looked like almost hole in the sky with the corona around it, like this halo of light around it, and it only accentuated how like black the I guess the sun was when it was blocked by the moon. So um, it was eerie. It was very strange, but it was incredible experience. And afterwards, I kind of like it took me a while to like live it down, um, and just return back to normal life because it was something so incredible that that it really does shock you a little bit. Um, but yeah, one thing I would say is if you have not seen the solar eclipse, it's definitely worth seeing. Even if you are not into, like like astronomy, or you have no interest in that stuff, it's a worthwhile experience. It's like incredibly striking experience. Um, so especially seeing totality, like it's different. Like the partial eclipse is cool, because you see the light dimming and stuff like that. But totality is something completely different. It's a whole other experience, and it's like very striking. Like the whole sky turns black except on the horizon, where it almost looks like sunset. You get this like yellow light on the horizon, but in the sky it's like pretty dark, dark enough to see stars. So yeah. So anyways, I'll stop there. But that was the experience, and then I drove back, but the drive back was horrendous. There was a lot of traffic. I only got as far as Albany. I was hoping to get pretty make significant part of the distance on Monday evening after the eclipse, so that on Tuesday it would be a short drive and I could just get home and it would be a normal day. Get back to my routines and stuff. But I only ended up making it to Albany, New York, by like midnight on Monday. So I was like, okay. I stopped in a hotel there, and then I woke up, slept, all right. But it was a terrible hotel. It was so bad. It was totally worn down. But I didn't care. I just was looking for something very cheap. So yeah, slept the night, had a little bit of food next morning, and drove back pretty much all of Tuesday. I only got home around midnight. Or no, was it? Wait, one, no, 9:30. Sorry, 9:30 p.m. yesterday, and I was like dead tired. Um, and yeah, so I did. I haven't calculated it, but I think definitely over 30 hours of driving, uh, over Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, so 3 days. Um, but totally worth it. I'd have driven 10 times the distance to see it. It was absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're back now, and we're trying to get back into it. So I did some of my morning routine uh, already. I still have some running to do, and some exercise, some workouts to do, and stuff like that. Um, and I'm just going to, jump right back into my routine. I think I won't move. So I ended the 2 hours, 15-minute work week last week, and I did 4 mile runs last week. I think actually I'm going to continue doing 2 hours, 15 minutes and 4 miles for the remainder of this week. Just so that I can give myself a little bit of time to kind of get back up to speed. And then next week I will move up to 2 hours and 30 minutes. But I think for the next um, um, few months, I don't really, or 2 months at least, I don't really have any plans for trips that I'm going to do. So I'm there's going to be this cool period of like uninterrupted concentration to really progressively work up and increase the amount of work that I'm doing, and reach my goals with respect to the work, and with respect to exercise and stuff like that. So yeah, so we're getting right back into it. Um, and yeah, let's see if there's anything else. I do want to work also on. I know that I mentioned before two things. First of all, writing. So I really want to start building a habit of writing daily, because uh, because through writing, I feel like I can work out like how to behave in certain domains of life. Um, and I think that's important for me at this stage to really clarify my thinking on different topics and, really work through what I have come to, or like what my strategy will be going forward on certain domains. So I think writing can help me a lot, just making sense of where I am in life and how to proceed. So I think that's a habit that I really want to start building up. Um, and that's going to be something that I'm going to do along with work and exercise. And then the second thing is improving in terms of socializing, but doesn't necessarily mean socialize more. Um, just means that I would really like to be more comfortable in those situations, um, because sometimes I just don't feel very comfortable, or generally I don't feel very comfortable in these situations, and I think it probably dissuades me from doing things that I would like to do. Um, so it's sort of like kind of problematic, but it's difficult because it's hard to know what to do about that. Like it's not as clear. Like for work, it's like very clear how to proceed. You just gradually build up your abilities and do more and more work. Whereas for socializing, it's not really clear how you improve, like, or what even the benchmarks are that show that you're improving. Um, so, right. So that's something that I have to think about. But I mean, this is, I think, probably a good idea to think about that stuff over the weekend. For the remainder of this week, I'm just trying to get back up to speed, and to get myself, and working again back to the normal routine. So that's it for today. I'm going to get after it, uh, and start down that process. And I also have a group meeting today that I need to attend at 4:30, so I'll do that as well today. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and we can discuss things in more detail. But thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.